This is Titletown Sound.
If Joe Flacco is worth a fourth-round pick, Antonio Brown might be worth a negative fifth-round pick.
Again, I'm just a fat dude sitting on the couch, but I watch a lot of football.
I'm here to kick ass and make steaks, and I'm all out of steaks.
Year one, he was like, all right, guys, I don't know what Dom taught you, but you need to have 11 guys on the field.
A trained orangutan could have done a better job than Ron Zerks. I mean, not even well-trained.
Welcome, Packers fans of the 7-1 Green Bay Packers, to this, the Titletown Sound podcast. This is the podcast for fans of the Green Bay Packers and fans of mischief. That's right. It's mischief night tonight. I don't know if that's what we call it here on the East Coast. And I want to introduce my co-host, a man who once accidentally TP'd his own house. It's James Corsmo. James, how you doing?
I'm good, man. It was a total accident. I was aiming for my butt.
Easy to confuse. Is it still mischief night in the Midwest there?
It's we do things weird out here. Trick or treating is like the week before. It's so stupid. I don't get it. But I have a full supply of eggs, and some of them are from chickens.
All right, because we're hoping that we have two inflatable like Minnie and Mickey things on the front lawn. There's a good chance they get slashed tonight. I mean,
oh man, if anybody vandalizes Disney decorations, there's a special spot in hell for them, man.
All right, well, if you're just joining us, if you're watching us on the live stream on Facebook, thanks for joining us. If not, if you're joining us on the podcast feed, thank you as well. You can always find us on iTunes, on YouTube, on Facebook, so please check us out in the other form if you haven't done that already. But guys, but James, before we talk about what's going on and our 7-1 Green Bay Packers, which is just still startling to me. Let's take care of the sound off, and then we'll be right back.
This
or not. Or I'll play the wrong video. Hang on one second.
I thought Charlotte's voice got a lot deeper.
It's time to sound off.
The NFL trade deadline has come and gone, and the Packers, well, they didn't do anything. I mean, in years past, it wouldn't have been a shock if the Packers made no moves at the trade deadline. In fact, in most years, or at least it used to be, that the NFL trade deadline would come and go with a whimper. No moves would be made. You wouldn't hear anything. But in the last several years, trades have gone down, things have been shaken up, and teams have made moves. Now, there were many people that were calling on the Packers to make a move. And I understand it. But should we be upset that they didn't acquire a wide receiver, that they didn't acquire maybe another defensive lineman? The answer is no. Brian Gutekunst has been very good at being aggressive when he needs to be, but protecting the future of the team when he needs to do so as well. After all, this team may be very good, but you want to keep it going for the next several years. Now, Ted Thompson went to the opposite extremes, where it seemed like he would mortgage the present for the future. In other words, he wouldn't double down. He wouldn't go all in for a team. And he would say that, we need to preserve our resources. Gutekunst isn't as extreme. And in fact, he made moves in the offseason that the Smith brothers come to mind that have made real impacts on this team, but he's not willing to make a desperation move because he thinks it's the final piece, unless it fits what he believes really makes sense. We should be happy about that. We don't want to see teams get gutted and teams mortgage their future to try to make one run. And after all, it's easy to be upset that they didn't make a move, but these Packers are 7-1. They could very well go into the bye atop the division by a long stretch. They've beat every team in their division. They're in great shape. But what's better is this team is just getting better. Getting Davante Adams back will improve the team. As the defense adjusts and plays better, this team can go up. without acquiring somebody that's going to mortgage a second or third round pick in the future. So while it can be a little unnerving or a little frustrating when the team doesn't make a move, Gutekunst hasn't proven us wrong, hasn't shown himself to be wrong yet. So let's have some faith. Sorry if there was some echo on that, guys. We're still trying to figure out what the video interface in our program. I got to talk to our vendor, but on the audio version of the podcast shouldn't be a problem. James, were you upset that the Packers didn't make a move?
Not at all. They'd have been bidding against themselves, and I heard that the Jets wanted a second round pick, I believe, or a third round pick for Robbie Anderson, and he'd be a rental for the rest of this year. That's not worth it. And honestly, if you get Devontae back and you get Ibrahim Campbell back and you get Jace Sternberger back, you weren't going to go out and find anybody out there that was going to impact the team much more than those three guys. So
people forget Devontae Adams is coming back. This is not going to be a permanent thing. So, and look how the offense has been performing without him present. Right? It's got to be encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, or in a lot of ways, they've actually performed better without Devontae, which is crazy.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Chiefs game, because I think there's a lot to talk about there, especially with the offense. And the first thing to talk about in the win is what you suggested. The offense is almost a little bit better without Devontae Adams, and one of the ways that it's better is that the offense is using the running backs in the passing game is just it's more dynamic in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones took this game over, and he went out there and he just decided, this is it, this is my time, and Aaron Rodgers was more than happy to feed him the ball, and it's working. It's hard to defend against 4 or 5 wide receiver or 4 wide receiver patterns or 4 wide receiver sets, and then have Aaron Jones come out of the backfield and be guarded by a middle linebacker. Like they're just not going to stick with him. So
and we talk about the one complaint that we had was scheming guys open, and Mike McCarthy doesn't scheme guys open, and this offense is all 1-on-1 win your battle. One thing that Gutekunst does is it may not be scheming a guy open, but it's scheming those matchups. And Aaron Jones is a mismatch on any inside linebacker. And if you talk about the night that he had, this is the second time that he's had just an unbelievable night. And so 13 rushes. It felt like he carried the ball more, but 13 rushes for 67 yards. That's an average of 5.2 yards per carry. That alone would be a fantastic night for a running back.
Yeah, if you extrapolate that, which is a great word.
That is fantastic.
I like it. I like it because it sounds like it's like a Urban Dictionary word, but it's not. It's real. If you extrapolate that into 20 carries, 25 carries, he's well over 100, 125, 130, maybe 140 yards.
And here's my favorite part about that. My favorite part about that running night, though, is his long was a run of 9 yards. So it's not like he had a 60-yard run that accounted for that 5.2 yards per carry. Right.
And the cool thing is, though, about LaFleur's offense is they didn't need him to run the ball 24, 25 times.
Right.
They didn't need Jamal Williams to run the ball 15 times. He figures out ways to get his running backs into the flat, into the open. And Aaron Rodgers has decided this year that he's going to start checking the ball down. And a lot of these plays are designed for Aaron Rodgers or Jamal Williams, but there were a couple on Sunday that were clearly Rodgers' first 2 or 3 reads weren't open, and he found Aaron Jones wide open. I want to talk about the final drive of the game, if we can.
We're not allowed to.
We're not. Oh, NFL. I forgot we didn't.
We don't have the express written permission of the commissioner. No, of course. Let's talk about that final drive.
So the Packers get the ball with I think it was just like a shade over 5 minutes left at their own 2-yard line because Darius Shepard, is that his name? Darius Shepard.
It used to be. It doesn't matter. He's cut, so
Yeah.
That's
he's back in the practice squad, but yes. But Darius Shepard decided, you know what, hot potato, and he didn't touch the ball. So they get the ball at the 2 with a little bit over 5 minutes left. What do? run, run, run. And Aaron Jones was getting 5.5, 6 yards a carry every down. Like the Chiefs had to use all 3 of their timeouts, and then that pivotal third down and 5 where LaFleur told LaRogers go win the game.
Did you just say LaRogers?
What's that?
I think you said LaFleur told LaRogers.
LaFleur told Le Roger. It's like Le Roger, go in the game. That was not French. I don't know what that was.
That was like a drunk Cajun who he's
that was Dom DeLuise with that.
There's a reference all of our listeners will get. Dom DeLuise, yeah. All right.
For the 3 of you that get that. But no, that was the drive that we've been waiting for. We wanted McCarthy to call. The last 5 or 6 years of his career here, iced the game.
Right.
McCarthy, and again, I don't want to keep harping on this because it's old news. He's gone. But in the years past, that would have been run for 3 yards, run for 2 yards, run for a yard, punt. And then
right.
The Chiefs get the ball with 3.5 minutes left, and God only knows what happens. So I have a huge old man crush on Matt LaFleur, man. That dude is...
Well, he does the things that we talked about for the past, it feels like 4 or 5 years, where he doesn't, it's not, he doesn't play to not lose. He plays to win. And that sounds stupid, but there's a difference, right? So on that final drive, instead of just playing safe and saying, whatever, he decides he's going to go after it. And that's the difference between LaFleur and what McCarthy used to do, the lack of aggression. And I don't know how many times we had to talk about the lack of aggression with McCarthy, but that's totally different.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And honestly, it is old news, like I said, and I don't want to beat a dead horse or a dead pierogi in this case. But it's so refreshing. Even 8 games into the season, when it should be we should all be getting kind of used to it. It should be something that we're getting accustomed to, but just the breath of fresh air that has been breathed into this offense, the aggression, the intelligent play design, it's something that, it's making, to steal a phrase from a guy, it's making football fun again.
Yeah, and who was it that said, and Hunter Sure in the live chat says, all gas, no brakes. That's something, in the past it was like, look, let's be fuel efficient. We don't want to, we don't want to burn out our rotors, so let's take it easy. And but this team there's a commitment to making sure that they put the other team away when it's possible. And that's different. And that's nice to see. So let's talk about, we saw the offense, and the offense is operating efficiently and looks great. Let's talk about the defense. All right, so the defense wins the game, right? They win the game, but
they do
gave up a lot of yards.
They did.
What did you see in that? Okay, go ahead.
That's okay though, because in the second half they only gave up 1 touchdown.
Right.
If you think about it, if you look at it objectively, which I know is difficult, especially if you're on Twitter, but if you look at it objectively, the defense really had 1 bad quarter. The second quarter was terrible.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know what happened there. It was bad. They went into the locker room at halftime. They came out. They gave up 1 drive to the Chiefs in the second half that really did any damage. And otherwise, they didn't give anything else up. So, yeah, they gave up a lot of yards, but they also won the turnover battle again. They had 1. The Chiefs had 0.
Right.
I mean, the secondary played okay. Jair Alexander did really well. Kevin King, he kind of got his lunch eaten by the child and wife beater a little bit. But, I mean, it is what it is. He's going to be hot and cold throughout the year.
So here's the thing that I saw, though, that I think led to some of the issues the defense had. I believe that it was a lot of it was based on the way that Mike Pettin decided to scheme this game. Okay, so you find out relatively early in the week, that you're not going to have to worry about Patrick Mahomes. So what you saw, especially in that first quarter or first and second quarters, the first half, was Mike Pettin playing a lot of soft zone, thinking we don't have to worry about Mahomes. We don't have to be as aggressive. And I think he went a little bit, a little bit capers-ish on us. He didn't go full capers. You never go full capers. But
never. A
little bit, and that allowed the Chiefs to stick to their game plan and to exploit that soft zone a little bit. This Packers defense is best when it's press man coverage, when it's pressure on the quarterback, and when they say, and this, I've kind of changed my opinion on this whole big play issue. I don't care about big plays anymore because this defense is going to give them up, but they're also going to get 2 or 3 turnovers because they're so aggressive. And when they weren't aggressive, especially in that first half, that's when I thought we saw some of the Chiefs taking advantage of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I thought Andy Reid might be the best regular season coach in the NFL. What in the top 3? The game plan that he came in with was brilliant. You have a quarterback who's competent, not great. He's a good backup quarterback. What do? Get the ball out quickly to your weapons. Yeah. Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, just get the ball out of his hand and put him in the playmaker's hands. And that's what they did. There was the only pass that really did any damage that was more than 10 or 12 yards down the field was the touchdown that Kelsey caught on the gimmick play. Yeah. Other than that, it was it was just a matter of holding of the speed. I mean, Tyreek Hill's a fast dude, and it's difficult when you're doing all these pre-snap motions that they do, and it's hard. So I thought Andy Reid did a really, really good job, and I thought Mike Pettin did a equally amazing job at halftime, adjusting to that.
Yeah, and it gets lost in the final score, but giving up 1 touchdown in the second half, they tightened up so much. They played so much better. But I think he learned that it's a great lesson to learn. This team needs to be aggressive on defense. And that's going to mean every once in a while, you're going to give up a 40-yard run. And it's going to happen. And we as fans have a right to lose our friggin' minds about it, but it's going to happen. We've got to expect that. And that's not the end of the world, because this defense is also really good in the red zone. So if I give up a huge play, but I stop them in the red zone, that's a win.
Yep, and they honestly would have had probably another goal line stand or 4-yard stand in the red zone if Tramon Williams hadn't decided to play patty cake with the dude's face. Yeah. So I mean, that defense in the red zone is lights out. You have the Smith brothers are just out of this world. Both they each had another sack, or actually Za'Darius had 2 sacks. Preston had 1. Lannister came through with a fumble, the fumble and the recovery of the fumble. It feels like the defense is okay giving up yards as long as they don't give up points. And guess what? We should be okay with that too. Now, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted there because the NFL Network is broadcasting the Packers the game from Sunday, and we just got to the part where Aaron Rodgers made that the throw of all time for the touchdown to Jamal Williams.
So that's a nice transition to our next topic, which is let me check my notes. Aaron effing Rodgers.
Yep.
James, this man has been reborn. He is a different football player than he's been the last couple of years. And last week was not an aberration. This is the Aaron Rodgers that makes your nipples tingly. This is not the Aaron Rodgers who's playing conservative football. Am I wrong? Like, if you're in the chat and your nipples aren't tingly when you're watching Aaron Rodgers, there's something wrong with you. Yep.
Yeah, yep, there they are. Sorry for those of you that just watched that. I apologize. I will. TTSO will pay for your counseling.
No, we won't. That's false.
No, I mean, it's almost like Aaron Rodgers not having to be the savior of all things Green Bay Packers makes him a better player. Like when he understands that he doesn't have to do everything right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be 100% of the time. He can be human. He plays better football. And he's making plays with his feet again. He's making plays from the pocket. He's making plays outside of the pocket. He made 2 throws on Sunday night. If that touchdown pass to Williams hadn't happened, we'd still be talking about the throw to Kumaro in the first quarter.
Oh, holy crap. I forgot about that. What an incredible pass and catch.
Right. It's ridiculous. And he makes it look so routine. And yeah, I'm a fanboy, and I will always be. You guys all know this if you listen to the podcast or you follow us on Twitter. I will carry Aaron Rodgers' jockstrap to hell and back if I have to, which is in Minneapolis, by the way. The man is he's doing things at this point in his career that no other quarterback I don't think has done this deep into his career.
So Nathan Smith, who's in
Mahomes.
Nathan Smith, who's in the live chat, says Aaron Jones taking a huge load off Aaron's shoulders. Yeah, I think that's right, but also I just think this whole team and is taking a load off Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep.
And
he's having fun.
But here's the thing: it's less pressure on him, yet he's performing much better. Like, he is carrying the team in some ways, but he doesn't have to. I don't know.
Yep.
It's
true. And I'll go a step further than that. I think Matt LaFleur is taking a lot of the pressure off Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Because he uses Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams,
and he uses them well.
Right. He uses them how they're supposed to be used. And he doesn't bench them randomly for quarters at a time. And I think that type, when you can know that you can have a series where you go 3 and out, or you don't score points, but you know you have a defense that more than likely is going to get you the ball back with
that might even
any damage done,
or might even turn it over. Like, you might end up in a better position. I mean,
right. And when you have a punter like J.K. Scott, who doesn't want to throw a couple balls away? You're doing the world a damn disservice if you don't give J.K. Scott every opportunity.
By the way,
the ball.
I can't believe we haven't mentioned this yet. Happy birthday, J.K. Scott. Today is J.K. Scott's birthday, and as a result, tomorrow, to celebrate, people all over the world will just hand candy out to children. That's people. You might not realize it, but that'll happen. So let's talk about that play. What was it? It goes down the books as what, a 3-yard pass?
No, it was more than that. It was more like a 9-yard pass.
No, but wasn't it from the 3-yard? Like technically, statistically, it's a 3-yard pass or something. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. That throw, and who said it? I think Hunter said it in the chat. Yeah. I thought it was a throwaway. I did too. I thought he was throwing that ball away, and I was kind of frustrated. And then when the pass was caught, my if I didn't have a skull, my mind would have exploded all over my wall. That was insane, James.
It was something that, again, we should be used to this. He's been doing this for since 2009. But just everything he does, every time he makes a play like this, it's that just awesome feeling. I thought it was a throwaway too, and I was pissed. Like, I was mad because yeah, I mean, because that was right after the turnover. We had gotten the ball back. Rodgers almost threw a pick the play before that to Tyrann Mathieu, almost picked it one-handed in the end zone, and it was just like 2 bad plays in a row. And I'm like, and then there's Williams, and I literally I didn't even say anything, which is rare for me. I just looked at the TV and in awe. The dude he's not one of us, man. He's a cyborg.
So here's Rodgers' final line. He was 23 for 33 for 305 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just a fantastic night again. And I don't know if you saw this, but he is now the favorite, James. he is the favorite to win the MVP at this point.
He's got to be in the conversation at least. I don't know if he's the favorite.
No. He is the odds-on statistical favorite in Vegas.
Oh, I know he is.
Yeah.
I know he is. I know in Vegas he is. Just watching the rest of the league, there are other players out there having amazing years as well. But like
Nano Bubbles having a good year.
Well, for me, Christian McCaffrey, like he's been hard to beat. But Aaron Rodgers. The fact that this is all happening with a depleted. He has Jake Kumaro, Ellen Lazard, and like MVS on one leg. That's who he's dragging into these performances, getting 300, 400 yards a game with, and then Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. It's he has the ghost of Jimmy Graham, who
the slower, more awkward cousin of Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, like Timmy Graham. But
So he has started this MVP campaign in the last couple of weeks without Davante Adams. We get him back.
Crazy.
We get Davante Adams back. That's a thing that's going to happen. If you don't have a Lamboner at this point, you're just not paying attention.
Or you need a blue pill.
I
don't know. Look,
maybe we'll get a sponsor.
They don't sponsor us either.
Not yet. Anything else to wrap up this game? What do you say?
So all kidding aside about J.K. Scott, he did not have a good game.
No.
But other than that, no. I thought I was expecting it to be like that. I was expecting it to be a shootout, and it was. And the defense, I think, was the key to the game at halftime, making those adjustments. And man, this is a fun team to watch. It's just a fun team to watch.
It really is. And it's funny, James, we're now like 27 minutes into the show. We didn't mention Kevin won't be joining us tonight. He's got a little bit of a family issue that he's dealing with. Everybody's okay, but it was a long couple days for him. So we fired him. Okay, he's my brother. It was awkward, but we got rid of him. So that's he'll be back next week. And now I say that because I have to now take his part as we go to break, and that is to talk about our Hall of Fame patrons. We have OG patrons that we really love on this show. You guys contribute to our show. You keep it alive. And it's Halloween, so I don't know if you know this. So our Hall of Famers, our OGs, I should say, are Jason Hicks, Scott Neer, James Hamblin, heavy on the B. You got to punch that B. Milo Meadsong Esquire, and Chris Korsmo. Now, I'm not sure if you knew this, James, but 3 years ago, they all went as they did a group costume. You've seen that, right? When people do like a group Halloween costume, they did a group group costume as the Village People, and they were so good. They were actually signed to do a tour as the actual Village People. They took over for them.
Wow,
three album deal.
Good for them, man.
Yeah.
They're in the Navy now?
They're in the Navy. They visit the YMCA. They do all those things that are appropriate for Village People.
They're macho, man, and my sister.
They really are. So thanks to our OGs. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk. Where are they from now? The LA Chargers.
The San Luis Obispo Chargers.
We're going to talk about what this Chargers games look like for the Packers. We're going to do our true and false. We got Papa K. We got spread in both of our games, and as soon as I find the right button, we'll start to go to break. We come back from break. We'll talk about the Chargers game and keep commenting in the chat. We love it. Did you know that you can help support our show financially without any additional cost to you? Well, if you use Amazon, and let's face it, who doesn't? you can go through our Amazon affiliate link, and we'll get a small portion of the proceeds. You pay nothing extra, and you still get your awesome stuff delivered in like 2 days. So go to www.titletownsoundoff.com/Amazon and just order like you normally would, and you help the show. That's www.titletownsoundoff.com/Amazon. Happy shopping.
If you would like to support the show and help others find it, give us a review and a rating. Go to Apple Podcasts and write something nice and give us 5 stars. Thanks.
Welcome back, Packers fans. The Titletown Sound Podcast. Hope you enjoyed that royalty-free music that we played for you. It's the Titletown Sound Podcast where we care just enough not to pay for real music. All right, James, let's talk about the upcoming game with the Chargers. But before we do that, we have some other patrons that we need to
Nice
recognize.
catch.
Thank you.
That was a Jamal Williams-like catch there. All right, so we have Jeff Augustine. Fun fact, I was born in August, so Jeff and I are like blood brothers. Paul Goldsack. Fun fact.
You don't have a gold
name a lot.
You don't have a gold sack.
I don't know if Austin Powers. I was going to go with that, but I can't because I like Paul Goldsack. He's a good dude. Kyle Turpinning, who is also a good dude.
Yes.
Nick, who's still not John Glenn. He's not. He's working on it. He has the powdered ice cream in the Tang. He's getting there. DJ Lightfoot, who is not Gordon Lightfoot's son, to my knowledge.
No, he might be. If he is, DJ, if you are Gordon Lightfoot's son, please let us know.
But he did scuba dive to the Edmund Fitzgerald once. And then
James, I would like to thank you for the least relevant reference we've ever had on the show, and that is saying something.
First of all, okay, I usually do this at the end of the show, but if any of you understood that reference, tweet me the words Edmund Fitzgerald. And then Will Zine Savage, which is he does make very fine wines.
He does. It's quite the vintner, if you will.
Yes.
You're supposed to say I will. But anyway, all right. The Chargers. So here's the first thing I want to say. I was in LA a few weeks ago, and I consciously said to myself on Sunday when we were there, I want to see how many Chargers jerseys or jerseys that I see on display in LA. I saw exactly one.
That's one more than I was expecting to hear.
There is no fan base out there. So this game is going to be, James, a Packers home game.
It is. So if you don't know, the Chargers play in basically a rented stadium.
It's a soccer stadium.
It's a soccer stadium. I think their max capacity is somewhere around 38 to 40,000 people.
I think it might even be lower than that. I'm going to find out while you talk. Go ahead.
Which is roughly half the size, give or take, of Lambeau. I mean, maybe a little bit more than half, but
Lambeau's over 70.
Yeah, Lambeau's like 78 or 79, and I want to say that whatever they play in is like 38 or 40.
Right.
So you take that bowl and you fill it halfway to 3/4 of the way with Packers fans. And it's not even just us; it's every fan base that goes in there.
Yeah,
they don't have home games in LA. I was watching that they played the Steelers like a month ago, and it literally looked like Pittsburgh. There was nobody there in blue. Nobody.
Okay.
It's sad.
So this is a seating capacity of 27,000.
That's it?
That's it. 27,000.
There are more people that go to Bucks games.
James, we need a timeout. It's rare that I will do this, but I'm stopping the show because there's a comment in the live chat that's so good it deserves its own little mini segment. And that is Hunter saying, Packers fans will be only slightly outnumbered by Phillip Rivers' children this Sunday.
Hunter, I like the cut of your jib.
Hunter, I want to thank you for that. You're correct. But 27,000, probably about 15,000 of those at least will be Packers fans. 5,000 of the remainder will be indifferent. And then the remainder will be like kind of Chargers fans.
It's like seat fillers that they use at the Oscars.
Well, kind of. I mean, it's LA. That's kind of what they do. They're there for the event. So the LA, it's so weird calling them that. In fact, in our show notes, I originally called them San Diego. LA recently, this week, fired their offensive coordinator. James, is that usually a good sign for a team?
No, it's not.
Okay.
That's probably... And here's the funny thing about that is they fired their offensive coordinator a day after they won.
Like, how does that happen?
They beat the Bears on Sunday, which granted isn't necessarily that difficult of a thing to do.
But they scored they score 17 points.
They did, but it's the Bears. I mean, the Bears' defense isn't terrible. It's just their offense.
Right. True.
So then they fire Ken Wisenhunt, which is that's a great last name, man.
That is.
Wisenhunt, come on now. So here's the question, though.
Yeah.
Is that gonna make things easier for the Packers on Sunday, or is it gonna be one of those things where Pettin doesn't know what to prepare for, and he's just kind of flying by the seat of his pants and hoping it works?
That's a good question. I mean, well, here's the thing: we got a new offensive coordinator. It's not like this guy's going to radically change the offense in a week, right? That's just not possible. The NFL is too complicated for that. So, what are you going to see? I don't think. I think hopefully that Pettin learned the best way for this defense to play is to play aggressively, to attack the quarterback. And if they do that, the rest is just tweaking. So I don't think this is a bad thing for the Packers in any way.
And honestly, Phillip Rivers is about as mobile as as something that's not very mobile. He's not mobile at all. I lost my steam on that one.
What I really like, James, is how you are so silver-tongued. Your metaphors and similes, they're basically they're literary quality. He's like Tom Brady running through cement. That is how mobile Phillip Rivers is. He's like one of those people that dresses up or paints themselves and stands on the corner and looks like a statue. He's like his pedestal, and then people will come and pose in front of it, and then they'll surprise them by putting their hands in front of their eyes. He's that, but with a football and a really active groin. He's like his wife in that he doesn't move very much because he's always 9 months pregnant. He's like his wife's OBGYN in that he's rich because he's always working. So in other words, Phillip Rivers is not very mobile. The Packers can take advantage of that. That's the one thing you worry about is a mobile quarterback might give the Packers a challenge, and might give them some difficulty if they can break, contain, and get outside. Like you would imagine that a Russell Wilson will be a difficult matchup with this Packers defense, especially with the way he's playing this year. But Phillip Rivers, who first of all, that throwing motion it makes me want to vomit. Yeah, it's like a shot. It's like a shot put mixed with something that is a bad throwing motion. See, now I understand. Now I understand what you went through, James. It's like a shot put, but the shot put is filled with live ferrets, and they're moving around in there. That's see, you brought it back. That's perfect. So I don't think the new offensive coordinator will be a challenge. I think it'll just be, it'll be different. I don't know. And how loud can a stadium with 27,000 people be? Right. So, what have you seen about the opportunity for Devontae Adams to come back this week? Do you think he's coming back this week? Well, yeah, I do. He practiced today, and it said limited, but I mean, there's video. The Packers posted video of him running routes. He didn't look
quite as fast, I don't think, as normal. But I'm guessing he was only going about 3/4 speed just to be safe.
Right.
From what I was reading, it sounds like it's really up to him and his doctor or the team doctor. Like, what's his pain tolerance going to be, and what does the doctor say? I think this might be the week, and if it is, I would expect there to be some rust, and there might even be a little bit of growing pains, remembering how to get him involved in the offense and everything else. But
here's the way I look at it.
Good things.
If it's not this week, he's not coming back till after the bye. That's my guess, because you've got this week, then you got the next week against the Panthers at home, and then you've got the bye. So if he doesn't play this week, and I would imagine he'll be on a snap count. I don't think he's going to be playing every snap. So they might ease him back into things. But if he plays, does that mean that how's LaFleur going to handle that? Does that mean fewer touches for the running backs? What does it mean for the offense?
I would, I mean, if he plays, when he comes back, I do think it's going to mean less designed running back passes. I think they'll be go back to the more traditional, running 20, 25 times a game as opposed to mixing it in. But I also think it's going to free up, like MVS he's underperformed. I'm sorry. He's had a couple of decent catches, big time catches. The one against Dallas, after he got hurt, that was a big catch, but he's getting 1 or 2 catches a game, and none of them are for touchdowns. He's underperformed.
Right.
I think Devontae Adams coming back can only help him. I think what's really going to help is if Devontae Adams plays, and then once we get Jay Sternberger involved more as a tight end, that can actually run and make people pay attention to him. It's the potential for this offense to just break it wide open is right there, and they need to take advantage of it, because they could be special. It could be like 2011 if they play their cards right.
Is there any chance the Packers look past this game and it's? I mean, I know that the Chargers are not a bad team, but like, is this the kind of letdown trap game you could find?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll look past it. It's not like Carolina's, Kansas City with Mahomes or the Patriots or anything. It's Carolina's good, but they're not great. They could they overlook it and could they go and surfing all week or all day Saturday and whatever. I don't know. They could. It won't happen though. They're going to be focused. I'm not worried about that. I just want to come out of this game healthy, and I'm looking forward to our game next weekend.
Yeah, by the way, if anybody's going to that Packers-Panthers game, James and I will be there, which is it's a treat. It really is.
It is a treat.
I know Ed Lee, who was in the chat earlier, I don't know if he's still with us. I mean, I know he's still with us, but I don't know if he's still in the chat. He'll be at the game. He will be at the game, and actually he messaged me earlier today, and I got to get back to him. I apologize. So if you're going to be there and you watch this broadcast, or you listen to our podcast, let us know, because I would love to do a little get together at some point, whether it's before the game on Sunday, since that game has been moved to a 3:25 game. Maybe we get together that Sunday afternoon and we all get hammered before we go to the tailgate or something. I mean, that's always an option.
Yeah, because we're going to the tailgate across the street over at the distillery.
We're going to get
we're going to get absolutely astronomically poop faced. But episode title,
astronomically poop faced. Let me write that down. Yeah.
But it would be awesome if we could meet up with some of you guys in the parking lot or wherever, Titletown District, anywhere before the game. If you're going to be there, let us know, because we'll
run a 40 against you.
Yeah.
I will run a 40 against anyone who shows up. I'll probably die, but I'll run a 40 against you, and you will win. And then
I will drink a 40 against you.
Perfect. Yes, if you're going to that game, let us know. One more question about this game, James. I think this is really important. This is something that gets overlooked a lot with these Chargers.
Hard-hitting journalism.
The powder blue uniforms, best in the league or not?
I love the powder blues, man. Those are the old 1980s Chargers that they bust out every once in a while.
They're beautiful.
I love those uniforms. Love them. Those are my favorite. Those are absolutely my favorite. I don't even like the Chargers, but I love those uniforms, man.
Can I tell you? This is a confession. I don't think anybody's listening, but not uniforms per se, but color of uniforms. I don't hate Detroit's Honolulu blue. I don't hate it. I'm supposed to, but it's a good color.
Those aren't bad. Can I confess something now too? I actually don't mind Jacksonville's uniforms.
No, they're not. Oh, hold on. Breaking news. Kyle Kuzno in the chat, and he says that, James, he will drink a 40 against you. I'm bringing
me and the mayor going at it.
I'm bringing my video equipment, and I will be. I'm very happy to include that as part of our vlog for the day. So, Kyle, game on. James has told me that he can drink you under the table. He's been really taunting the whole time, so he will. Yeah,
I knew that you were going to respond, Kyle. I knew
so that's he's been planning this for weeks.
I've been talking mad trash about you.
All right, that has to happen. I'm looking forward to that because we met Kyle a couple years ago. He was we had a good time with him. He's a great dude, and I would happily have a drinking competition of a 40 ounce beverage against. So now this is let's move on from the Chargers game. We got some segments that we want to cover, and one of our most important is it's the David Bakhtiari 69 of the week. Remember, not endorsed in any way by David Bakhtiari. In fact, he sent us a cease and desist. But
69 dudes.
Nice.
69.
Nice.
The David Bakhtiari 69 stat of the week. If you take Aaron Jones' long run of 67 yards and add his number of touchdowns, that's 2, you will get 69.
69.
This has been your Aaron Jones. This has been your David Bakhtiari 69 of the week. Now let's get to our voicemails. We got a call from Will before the game. And so Hunter, he says you need to videotape that for the, I believe it's the drink off with Mr. Cousineau. Don't worry, Hunter. We will. I'm actually going to be doing, we're going to be vlogging the whole trip. Should be a lot of fun. And, there's more smack talk. Kyle says, you'll lose, James. That's some hardcore smack talk.
Yeah, well, I think you'll lose, Kyle.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't pick up your mic and drop it at that. That was good. All right. We got some voicemails. Will, before the game, called, and here's what he had to say.
Hey, guys. It's Will here. So it's Green and Gold Friday coming up on the Kansas City game, or Packers-Chiefs game. I just finished listening to or watching a clip with Stephen A. and Max Kellerman, I think it is. And Max Kellerman made a point that I very much agree with and thought the same myself. It's that Aaron Rodgers and Patty Mahomes are in a category of themselves, by themselves, I mean. I just want to get an idea what y'all think. I agree with it. And honestly, I think Patrick Mahomes, though his arm isn't as good, I think he's a more athletic, younger version of Aaron Rodgers that can eventually be great. Now, mind you, I never think he's as great as ours truly, but I just wanted to see what y'all perspective was on it. All right, guys. Go Pack, go.
Top of the morning to you, Patty Mahomes. That's I'm sorry. I've just never heard him referred to as Patty Mahomes, and I really enjoyed it. But I do agree that
Bono here?
I do agree that Mahomes, Rodgers, I'd put Russell Wilson in that top tier at this point. I don't know who else. I mean, Tom Brady, but he's a system quarterback, as we know.
So, Tom Brady can't make... Look, bring it... Well, you know what? Screw it. Bring it on, you Patriots nerds. Tom Brady, talent-wise, by himself in a vacuum, like, against these other quarterbacks, can't hold a candle. Like, in terms of throwing the football well.
Right.
He's good. He's great. He's one of the top ever. He's not as good at throwing a football where it needs to go. Imagine Tom Brady making either of those throws, like to Kumaro or to he wouldn't.
He's a system quarterback.
He would have. And he would have thrown himself on the ground because he's scared of getting hit.
Yeah.
Because he's
Right.
7 years old.
Well.
So, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Russell. I think it's Rodgers, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson's working his way up.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is getting there. I love watching Deshaun Watson when he's on.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
But then you have a huge drop off because there's not a lot of athletic quarterbacks out there that can run and throw both well, and it's especially ones that are as old as Aaron Rodgers is.
And by the way, if you want to call in and leave us a voicemail, that is 920-445-TTSO. That's 920-445-TTSO. If you have phone anxiety, don't worry. We're not going to call up. We're not going to pick up. It's just going to go right to voicemail. And we try to do our best to play them on the show. Our next call is from Don.
Hey, y'all, it's Don. Good game, at least at the end. Not the best game from the defense, but they did enough. Probably closer than we all thought because, Mahomes is out. What can Matt Moore do? Well, even Matt Moore surrounded by that many weapons is clearly dangerous. But it turned out. What I'm complaining about, Jimmy Graham. The guy's got to go. He can't block. He gave up a sack. He's nearly cost them some possibility at the game at the end, and he just doesn't match up to Lewis. I don't understand why they keep giving him time. There's no way that he grades out to be a better tight end than Lewis. Who's looking at the paper and saying, we need to keep Jimmy Graham in this formation? I don't get it. Anyways, have a good one.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to defend Jimmy Graham on the end of that game. That flag that they threw and they picked it up. But that flag, there is no universe where that flag should not have been picked up. So let's cut that out of the Jimmy Graham concern. The rest of it, pretty valid. Now, James, I still think it is coaching malpractice to set Jimmy Graham up to block in any meaningful way.
Yep. Jimmy Graham, honestly, should only be he should be used in the red zone and third and long. That's about it. And it's sad that we've gotten to this point with him where.
But here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with him being a red zone specialist. I don't have a problem with that. Just don't make the man block. He can't do it. Never has done. Doesn't have any interest in it. It's like me and eating healthy. It's just not going to happen. But if you use him correctly, and they have at some points, and if he uses, both hands to try to attempt a catch, those things, he's still got something left. Every time I'm ready to bury him, he kind of shows he's got something left in the tank.
Right, he definitely has value. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we should cut him. I don't think we should. He's only got this year left on his contract anyway. But
right.
But he needs to be used better. Mercedes Lewis isn't your prototypical pass catching tight end, and he's outperformed, I think, Jimmy Graham. This year in terms of catching the ball.
Yeah.
And block. I mean, he's just been a better tight end. And like I said before, Jay Sternberger. If he can stay healthy and he can pick up the playbook, he's gonna make you forget who Jimmy Graham even is. So, use him right while we have him, and then wish him good luck on his way.
All right, last call we have time for this week is another one from Will.
Hey guys, it's Will Zippy calling in here on Victory Monday after that Kansas City beating. Man, how many of y'all ever had a heart attack on that game? Hey, I'm just happy. Another victory on the road. Let's go into San Diego, and hopefully it'll be a home game in San Diego, according to the Packer fans and how they travel. So, just want to say, go Pack, go! I'm excited.
I played that call because Will allowed his Baltimore accent to come out just a little bit, and it's my favorite accent, my favorite regional accent. Next time, Will, when you call, it doesn't even have to be in context, but if you could just say, Timonium, pandemonium. That's my favorite phrase that's never actually... Timonium's a town in Maryland, in case you're wondering. But my old fantasy baseball team was named the Timonium Pandemonium, just because those are fun to say in a Baltimore accent. So, Will, if you could do that. But, James, I do think this is going to be a Packers home game. It's certainly not an LA home game because there is no such thing.
Right. They don't have a home. They're orphans.
It's ridiculous.
But
They
yeah,
put two teams.
it's sad. Like it's
No,
Anyways, yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. So not to change the subject at all, but I'm really interested in this. So tweet us this. Again, I'm breaking protocol. I usually do this at the end.
Whatever.
Tweet us your favorite regional dialect, or
like your favorite accent? Like, is that what you're looking for? Okay.
Yeah, I'm really like this is something I'm a nerd about this type of stuff. I've always been interested in it. I really want to hear all of you guys tweet or Facebook us or call and leave it on the voicemail. That'd be
funnier. If you have an impression or if you have that accent, call with us. All right.
I want to hear your regional dialect.
I do too. That's fantastic. You don't even have to say anything intelligent. Just use your accent. All right, Papa K called in about this last game, and look, we know from his past calls, he's not overly optimistic. He's a realist, but the optimism in this call, I don't know. Well, it kind of got me excited.
Hi, this is Bill Christofko calling as the 7-1 Packers prepare to play the Los Angeles Chargers this weekend. 7-1. Who would have thought that at the halfway mark of the season, the Packers would be 7-1? I don't think too many experts or too many fans thought that would be possible, but here it is. I know there have been some negative thoughts and all that sent out, Facebook and all the rest of it about the Packers. Are the Packers a Super Bowl team? Who knows? Time will tell. Are they the NFC champion to be? Again, who knows? Time will tell. But I would think that as fans, what we would most want is hope and a team that is improving and a team that just seems to use its players and to be well coached. A team that's competitive, a team that has a chance. I would think that that's what we as fans would want and concentrate on that and not worry about the negatives. So there are negatives on this team. Just not to obsess about them or make them our primary thoughts. For example, do you know that 8 teams changed coaches leading into the 2019 season? 7 teams are a combined 10 wins, 40 losses, and 1 tie. The exception to that is Matt LaFleur with the Packers, who is 7-1. 7-1. I think Mark Murphy made a good choice here. And it looks like the offense keeps getting better and better. And look what the Packers did without Devontae Adams. Other guys got into the rhythm of the offense. They contributed. And now as the season heads into the second half and hopefully a playoff run, we have a number of players contributing significantly to this team. I would think that's a real positive. Are there negatives? Yes, like the crummy tackling, especially in the second period of the game the other night. That was really pretty bad. It looked like guys were trying to steal the ball out of runners' hands and not really tackling. But on the other side, in the second half, Kansas City only scored 7 points. We have to have, in my opinion, a balanced view toward this team. It's not going to go 15-1 and race to the Super Bowl. On the other hand, this is an improving team with a very good chemistry and what seems to be great coaching. That's what I'm hoping to focus on. One of the most interesting things to me of the game was the last 5 minutes and 14 seconds of the game. Mm-hmm. In the first play with 5:14 left, Chadron Sullivan made a huge play to break up a pass intended for Travis Kelce. Kelce's catch would have made it a first down. But the Chiefs were faced with 4th and 3. Much to my surprise and pleasure, Andy Reid chose to punt. And the Packers took over at their own 2-yard line with 5 minutes and 4 seconds left. And what did the Packers proceed to do? They ran the ball down the Chiefs' throat. This is not something we've seen a lot of in the last few years, but it was a pleasure to watch. And then as we approached the 2-minute warning and 3rd and 5, I thought it was a great move by Matt LaFleur to put the ball in the hands of his 2 best players, Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. LaFleur didn't play not to lose. He played to win. He had Rodgers pass to Jones for the first down. That ended the game. Kansas City had no more timeouts left. Rodgers knelt 3 times and that was the end of it. That's the kind of play calling, that's the kind of attitude that I think we as fans really appreciate. So as we go into the second half of the season, I would just encourage us to enjoy the trip to wherever this takes us. This is a good team. This is an up and coming team, a well coached team. We'll see what happens with the Chargers. It's going to be relatively a home game in Los Angeles because there aren't too many Los Angeles Charger fans out there, and we know there are a lot of Green Bay Packer fans who travel well. So let's hope for an 8-1, and let's continue to be excited about where this team is headed. This is a fun team to watch. Thanks for listening. Good night.
James, I don't have much to add to that. I mean, I think that's spot on. This team is not only a good team at 7-1, maybe a great team, but they keep getting better.
That was the perfect phone call, man. There's nothing we could possibly add to that to make it any better.
I mean, unfortunately, Papa K probably won't listen to hear the praise that we give him, but he should.
Well, he's
a busy man. He's a busy man. Now, all right, so we have to play our games before we get out of here, and usually Kevin is the one that runs the games, but I'm going to take over for him this week. And first up is true or false.
True or false, true or false, true or false, true or false. It's time to play true or false.
As I enjoy one of my last moose heads that I bought when I was in Canada, we'll play true or false. That's 5 questions that go out to not only those of us on the show, but to our Hall of Fame level patrons and above. They can compete as well. I don't have an update because Kevin's not here. We'll have an update next week. But I do have 5 questions. So, James, first question. The Los Angeles Chargers are 28th in the league with 69.5 rushing yards per game, while the Packers are 18th in the league, averaging 101.6 rushing yards per game. True or false? In this week's game, the Chargers will rush for more than 85.5 yards. That's right in between those two numbers. True or false? Chargers will rush for more than 85.5 yards.
True. I think Ekeler and Melvin Gordon, whatever he has left in the tank, I think they're going to get there.
I'm going 100% homer on this one because I'm just so excited for a 7-1 team that I'm going to say false. I'm probably wrong, but they do only average about 70 yards per game. All right, question number 2. Los Angeles and San Diego are, according to Google Maps, 124 miles apart by car. True or false? In this week's game, Aaron Jones will have more than 124 yards from scrimmage.
True.
Good analysis.
I think he will.
I'm going to say true as well.
No, I think he will. He's going to have 723 yards.
If he has that, I will eat 4 Viennettas on the next show. That's, now I'm rooting for it because I would love to eat 4 Viennettas. All right. Question number 3. Fresh Brothers is a restaurant located at Rocket Field at Dignity Health Sports Park. That really flows off the tongue, doesn't it? Rolls right off.
What the hell is that?
That's where the Chargers play.
Stadium name?
Yeah, Rocket Field at Dignity Health Sports Park. So there's a Fresh Brothers restaurant there. True or false? On Sunday, the Packers' Smith brothers will combine for at least 2 sacks.
At Rocket Field at Dignity
Health Sports
Justice
Park.
For All Park?
Yes. At least 2 sacks for the Smith brothers.
I sure hope so against the statue. I'll say true.
I'm going to say true as well. I believe, he doesn't do much. So, all right. Question number 4. Phillip Rivers, at the time this question was being written, had 9 children. True, true or false? On Sunday, Rivers will have more incompletions in the game than he has children at that time.
True.
All right, I will say true as well. He may have up to 10 children by then, but I still think he'll have at least 11 incompletions. All right, and finally, question number 5. Going into this week's game, the Packers have a turnover ratio of +7. True or false? After this week, the Packers will have a turnover ratio of at least +8. In other words, will they at least win the turnover battle by 1 this week, James?
Yes, true.
I agree. We agree way too much this week, but I'm going to say that's true as well. And with that, true or false is over.
True or false is now over.
We have one more game we have to play, and that is the game where we pick the Packers game against the spread. And that game is called Spread 'em.
Go on ahead and spread them.
That's Spread 'em. And the spread this week, Packers are 3.5-point favorites at LA. James, I'm actually surprised that the spread was this low. How about you?
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like Packers 6, Packers 6.5, but
Yeah, me too. So does that tell you something?
maybe.
Should that make you nervous about this game if they're only 3.5-point favorites?
Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous before every game, like every single game.
And this is a true story. This is a true story. 10 minutes before every game, James will text me and Kevin and tell us that he's like, we're going to lose. I'm so nervous. That, like, every game. But I love it.
I'm that friend.
Yeah. So, James, Packers, who you got? Spread them. Packers are 3.5-point favorites. Who you taking?
I'm not gonna break my tradition here. Every week that I pick the Packers, they lose, and every week that I pick the opponent, we win. So I'm going Chargers.
And I'm going to take the Packers because I don't remember what my jinx is. But I do want to share something with the listeners. I'm sitting here. I have a room where I do my podcast. It's basically a glorified closet, but I call it my podcast room. I felt something at my feet under my desk here, and I found a pair of pants. So this means at some point while I was podcasting, I took off my pants. Tonight I am wearing shorts, but so if you listen to episode 215, just know that at some point during that show, I took my pants off. That's it. That's all I got.
You only go in their room like once a week, just when we podcast?
No, I do some editing and stuff in here, but I'm pretty sure I didn't take my pants off. I think I did during the show, actually. I think I did.
Good for you. I hope everybody listens to their pants off too, because that's how we mean it to be.
This is a very casual podcast, so please, pants. It's like Phil Collins' album, "No Jacket Required, No Pants Required." That's and there's another relevant reference for all of our listeners and viewers. Thank you. All right, James, it's time to get out of here.
It is.
This team is 7-1. 7-1.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's awesome. So what do you got before we get out of here? What do you got to say to people?
So remember the 2 tasks that I've given you guys.
Right.
Call into the voicemail or tweet us or Facebook us with your favorite regional dialect / accent.
Right.
And whatever the other one was that I forget now.
I don't remember either. And remember, tweet your support for James as he will have a drink off with Kyle Cousineau.
I'm coming for you, Kyle.
It's gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to that. And all right, that's all I got tonight is to say, guys, this is so much fun. It's so much more fun. It's fun. Look, we love doing this podcast every week, but it is so much more fun when this team is 7-1 and getting better. There's not a team. I'm not saying there'd be a favorite in every game. There's not a team this Packers team couldn't beat right now, and that's exciting as hell. With Devontae Adams coming back, this is gonna be a fun ride. Let's enjoy it. If you're going to the Packers-Panthers game, we'd love to see you there. Don't forget to get your pets spayed and neutered. And yeah, that's all I got. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
The preceding podcast was a production of Productions Institute LLC, copyright 2019, all rights reserved. Don't steal our crap.